Let's get right into it. Number 10. The 8 hours or else lie. You've probably heard this one since you were old enough to be yelled at for staying up too late. Asterisk, you need 8 hours of sleep, minimum. Asterisk, as if the Sandman personally clocks your rest and fines you for underperformance. But here's the twist. The 8-hour rule was never based on hard science. It's more like the food pyramid of sleep, an oversimplified guess that somehow became gospel. Humans aren't identical robots. Some people genuinely thrive on 6 hours, while others need 9 to not feel like sentient furniture. It's all down to genetics, specifically something called your chronotype. That's the internal timer that tells you whether you're a natural early bird, night owl, or permanently exhausted pigeon. Historically, humans didn't even sleep in one big chunk. Before the invention of electric lights, many societies used biphasic sleep, 2 shorter sleeps with a wakeful rest in between. People would wake up in the middle of the night to read, pray, or visit their spouse. So if you wake up at 3 a.m. and scroll TikTok for an hour, congratulations, you're actually living like a 16th century peasant. The truth? Your ideal sleep duration is as personal as your taste in pizza toppings. Forcing yourself into the 8 hours or bust box might just stress you out more, which ironically wrecks your sleep further. So if you're functioning, healthy, and not falling asleep in soup, you're probably fine. Basically, 8 hours is less of a rule and more of a polite suggestion from the 1940s. Number 9. Catching up on sleep doesn't work. Ah yes, the classic modern fantasy, the sleep debt that you can magically pay off with one good weekend of hibernation. It's adorable, really. You think you can neglect your brain for 5 days and then fix it with 2 naps and a brunch mimosa. Here's the ugly truth, sleep debt doesn't work like a credit card. When you miss out on deep sleep, your brain doesn't just wait politely for you to come back. It forgets things, screws up your hormone balance, and starts casually nibbling at your sanity. Studies show that after several nights of reduced sleep, your brain's performance drops to the level of someone legally drunk, and sleeping extra later doesn't fully reset that. You might feel better, but your memory, focus, and reaction time are still on vacation. Think of your brain as an overworked intern. You can't just underpay it all week and then throw it an extra coffee on Saturday and call it even. It's still mad at you. So when people say, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," the body basically replies, "Cool, let's make that sooner." Number 8. Screens are the ultimate sleep villain. Yes, we all know blue light is the boogeyman of bedtime. Every sleep article says it. Every influencer says it. It's the gluten of modern sleep advice. But, plot twist, the real science says blue light is only part of the problem, and maybe not even the worst part. Blue light does delay melatonin, your sleep hormone, but it's not evil incarnate. You get the same wavelength of light just stepping outside during the day. The real issue is content stimulation. It's not the photons keeping you up, it's the psychological chaos of doom scrolling and watching videos of raccoons stealing cat food at 2 a.m. Your brain doesn't know the difference between "I'm in danger" and "I'm just reading comment wars." It just sees flashing images, emotional spikes, and unpredictable dopamine hits, so it assumes you're in the middle of some kind of jungle chase. And obviously, that's not the vibe for falling asleep. If you want to fix your sleep, you don't have to turn your phone into a medieval artifact. Just stop feeding your brain algorithmic junk food right before bed. Read something boring, stretch, or stare at your ceiling like a philosopher. Your melatonin will thank you. Because the problem isn't that your phone glows. It's that your brain refuses to log off. Number 7. You can train yourself to need less sleep. Every productivity cult on the internet swears by this one. You can train your body to survive on 4 hours of sleep. Sure, and you can also train yourself to survive on nothing but instant noodles, but that doesn't mean you're thriving. The harsh reality? Your body doesn't adapt to less sleep. It just forgets what normal feels like. After a while, chronic sleep deprivation stops feeling bad because your brain adjusts its baseline. You think you're fine, but your reflexes, attention, and mood are quietly falling apart. It's like being drunk for weeks on end. At some point, you stop noticing how sloppy you've become. Scientists have tested this. After 2 weeks of sleeping 6 hours a night, people's cognitive performance drops to the same level as someone who hasn't slept for 2 days straight. The kicker? They don't realize it. They think they're functioning perfectly. So that entrepreneur bragging about sleeping 3 hours and grinding? He's probably one bad email away from crying in a parking lot. Basically, you can't hack biology. You can only annoy it, and it always gets revenge. Number 6. Early risers are more successful. Ah yes, the myth that has fueled generations of guilt and overpriced alarm clocks. Successful people wake up at 5 a.m. because apparently ambition evaporates after sunrise. But here's the problem. That advice was built for farmers, not coders, writers, or literally anyone living in the 21st century. Chronobiology, the science of internal clocks, says people are born with different sleep patterns. Some of us are genetically wired to be night owls, meaning our brains don't fully boot up until the sun's already judging us. And that's not laziness, that's biology. Night owls tend to be more creative and perform better in the evening. Early birds are usually more disciplined and alert in the morning. Neither is better. It's just evolution giving everyone different schedules, so the tribe always had someone awake to guard against saber-toothed tigers. But then society decided that productivity only counts if it happens before breakfast. So now millions of people force themselves up early, feel miserable, and call it grind culture. Congratulations, you're rebelling against your own DNA for no reason. If waking up at dawn makes you feel like a deity, great. But if 10 a.m. feels more like morning to you, you're not broken. You're just on the night shift of evolution. Success isn't about when you wake up, it's about what you do when you're finally awake. Number 5. Alcohol helps you sleep. You've heard this one. A nightcap helps you drift off. And technically, yes, alcohol does make you drowsy. But so does being hit with a tranquilizer dart, and nobody calls that restful sleep. Here's what actually happens. Alcohol knocks out your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for self-control and awareness, so you feel sleepy. But once you're out, alcohol absolutely wrecks your REM sleep, the deep dreaming stage that helps your brain process memories and emotions. Instead of recharging your brain, your body spends the night detoxing ethanol. That's why you wake up dehydrated, groggy, and weirdly anxious. And because alcohol suppresses REM early in the night, your brain rebounds later, meaning when you do finally dream, they're the weirdest, most chaotic dreams of your life. So, yes, a few drinks might help you fall asleep faster. But you'll wake up feeling like your brain was replaced by a wet sponge. It's like paying for an express sleep service that delivers your body but loses your mind in transit. Number 4. Everyone dreams every night. You might think you don't dream. You might even brag about it. I just close my eyes, black out, and wake up. Sounds efficient, right? Unfortunately, that's not how it works. You do dream every single night, but you forget almost all of it. Dreams happen during REM sleep, when your brain is basically running a weird simulation to process memories, emotions, and random nonsense from your day. But if you wake up outside that stage, your memory of the dream evaporates within seconds. It's not that you don't dream, it's that your brain deletes the evidence before you clock back in. There's even a name for this, dream amnesia. It's your brain's way of preventing confusion between dream logic and reality. Because if you remembered every dream in detail, you'd probably go insane trying to figure out why your old math teacher turned into a dolphin holding a tax form. So yes, even those dreamless sleepers are starring in nightly episodes of subconscious nonsense theater. They just don't get the reruns. Number 3. Older people need less sleep. People love this one, especially grandparents who brag about waking up at 4 a.m. like it's a competitive sport. But the truth is, older adults don't need less sleep, they just get less sleep. Big difference. As we age, our circadian rhythm, that's your internal sleep timer, starts shifting earlier, and your body produces less melatonin. So older folks often wake up earlier and have lighter sleep. But their biological need for deep rest? Still the same. It's like your body still wants a full recharge, but the charger cable keeps falling out halfway through the night. Because of this, sleep deprivation in older adults can cause memory issues, poor mood, and higher risk of illness, and people just write it off as getting old. No, that's not aging. That's exhaustion wearing a disguise. So if your grandma's up baking cookies at 3 a.m., it's not because she doesn't need sleep, it's because her body's lost the ability to hold on to it. Basically, aging doesn't mean your sleep requirements shrink, it just means your brain's Wi-Fi signal to dreamland keeps dropping. Number 2, you can power through sleep deprivation. You've done it. You've stayed up all night for work, study, or that one video game that turned into a 5 a.m. emotional journey. You feel awful the next day, but you tell yourself, it's fine. I'll just push through. Yeah, your brain disagrees. When you're sleep deprived, your body basically starts a quiet rebellion. The prefrontal cortex, your rational, decision-making center, goes on strike. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the drama queen of your brain, cranks emotions up to 11. So you become impulsive, moody, and weirdly convinced that everyone is annoying you on purpose. Your body tries to fix this by microsleeping, those tiny, half-second blackouts where your brain literally shuts down for a moment. You don't notice it, but your neurons are taking turns napping in protest. That's why sleep-deprived people make awful drivers. Their brains are dozing off like toddlers mid-sugar crash. The irony? You think you're powering through, but your performance has quietly tanked. You're slower, clumsier, and about as focused as a goldfish with ADHD. Basically, when you skip sleep, you're not being productive, you're just performing a slow-motion meltdown in business casual. Number 1. You'll die without sleep quickly. Let's end with the big scary one. The myth that if you don't sleep, you'll drop dead in a few days. It sounds dramatic, like something your mom would say when you were up too late watching cartoons. If you don't sleep, your brain will melt. Okay, here's the reality. Yes, sleep is essential. Your body needs it for memory, immune function, and not losing your mind. But you won't just die after a few sleepless nights. Humans are annoyingly durable. The longest recorded voluntary sleepless period was by Randy Gardner, a high school student who stayed awake for 11 days in 1964 as part of a science fair experiment. He didn't die. He didn't even hallucinate that much. He was just a cranky, forgetful mess. But long-term sleep deprivation does mess you up. It leads to chronic inflammation, heart issues, and even changes in your gene expression. Your brain starts losing gray matter, not instantly, but gradually, like a candle burning from both ends. So no, you won't die after a few all-nighters. But if you make sleeplessness a lifestyle, your body will slowly start sending passive-aggressive messages, in the form of exhaustion, illness, and possibly falling asleep mid-Zoom call. Sleep isn't optional. It's not a chore. It's literally the software update your brain needs to keep running. Skip enough of those, and eventually, you're running on corrupted files. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.